to the middle, back to Chris!
Broke it up. There's a shot! They score! They score!
At ILM, we're bigger than a welcome home hug. We're stronger than the connections we make. We're your neighbor. We're your friend.
We are your school spirit.
We are your history.
We are your biggest fans.
And we all fly.
And we all fly.
ILM.
ILM.
We are comfort, convenience, and community pride. We are more than just an airport. We are your airport.
We are ILM.
We are ILM.
We are ILM.
She was once considered the world's greatest sea weapon and went on to become one of the most highly decorated American battleships of World War II. Now moored in downtown Wilmington, she is one of the most highly decorated family attractions in North Carolina, serving a new generation as an exciting, hands-on historical adventure. Have a blast exploring the past aboard the Battleship North Carolina. Adventure calls.
Looking for action, excitement, and the only professional team in town? Don't miss out on the next Wilmington Hammerheads match. Show your support at their next game. Get your season tickets or single game tickets now at WilmingtonHammerheads.com.
Got it. Coming off a 1-0 heartbreaker this past weekend, Wilmington Hammerheads FC looks for their first result since April 17th in a victory over FC Montreal, played right here at Legion Stadium. Good evening, everyone. Alongside my broadcast partner, Chris Liebert, I'm Joe Katz, and welcome to the 20th season of Wilmington Hammerhead FC Soccer right here on YouTube. Chris, a tough matchup today, a quick turnaround as they take on the hottest team in the United Soccer League right now, Charlotte Independence, on a 4-match winning streak heading into tonight's contest. And fitness, the word of the day, probably, with both teams having played just a couple of days back. Heading into this contest, Wilmington Hammerheads FC in need of a result. Their first, hopefully, coming since April 17th, as I just mentioned. Since then, they are 0-2-1 and falling on the Eastern Conference table.
Yeah, this is the time of the season that your team really starts to define yourself. You've had a beginning. Everyone seems to be neck and neck at the beginning, and certainly at times that you've got to play some games to get ready for the season. They've done that. Now's the time you've got to start pushing and thinking about playoffs, even though it's still early yet. But playing against a team coming in with 4-game win streak, you do want to be that person to stop that, especially at home.
Charlotte Independence right now the #1 team in this week's USL Power Rankings, coming off a victory this past weekend. Wilmington Hammerheads FC coming off, as I mentioned, a heartbreaking setback, let an own goal set their demise in a 1-0 loss to Richmond back on Saturday night. Wilmington has 5 different goal scorers right now, so in the attacking third, they are able to put the ball in the back of the net with different type of, different guys. It seems to be the flavor of the week, really. Different guys can put the ball in the back of the net, but with that said, they've had only 1 goal scored in their last 3 matches.
Yeah, definitely haven't been giving up a whole bunch of goals, which is good. They've been in every game. They've been close contests. They've been late goals. They've been 1-goal games. So Mark Briggs takes that in with to his team and into the locker room. Rankings, power rankings, they are what they are. You can use that to your advantage and certainly take the team down out of the first place of, okay, this is the #1 ranked team at this point. Use that as an example to take them down and prove how good you are.
you're a former soccer player back in the day, but when you get a schedule like we have here in the last week or so, when you're playing 2 matches within the course of 3-4 days, how is it from a preparation standpoint for some of these veteran players, maybe that don't have their legs still early in the season yet, but still might not have their legs in full force, just going for a full 90? So how does fitness play a role in tonight's match for both clubs?
Well, it's still back to the old days. A lot of teams played back-to-back nights, so this is certainly better than that. You look at qualifying, usually games are 3 days apart, certainly in World Cup situations and brackets, so it is doable. The good thing is it is early in the season. You're coming off a preseason fitness. You're not as banged up yet. If this is certainly later in the season when you have taken a lot of knocks and your legs are tired, but it does come into play. But I think both teams will be okay tonight, having a couple days in between.
Going to be a beautiful night for soccer here at Legion Stadium in Wilmington, North Carolina. It's the 5-2 Charlotte Independence going up against your Wilmington Hammerheads at 2-3-2 overall. The first of 3 meetings here this season between these 2 in-state rivals. He's Chris Liebert. I'm Joe Katz. We'll get to the start of the match right after this quick break. Our national anthem, the starting lineups, and tonight's opening kickoff here at Legion Stadium.
At ILM, we're bigger than a welcome home hug. We're stronger than the connections we make. We're your neighbor. We're your friend.
We are your school spirit.
We are your history.
We are your biggest fans.
And we all fly
And we all fly
ILM.
ILM.
We are comfort, convenience, and community pride. We are more than just an airport. We are your airport.
We are ILM.
We are ILM.
We are ILM.
She was once considered the world's greatest sea weapon and went on to become one of the most highly decorated American battleships of World War II. Now moored in downtown Wilmington, she's one of the most highly decorated family attractions in North Carolina, serving a new generation as an exciting, hands-on historical adventure. Have a blast exploring the past aboard the Battleship North Carolina. Adventure calls.
Looking for action, excitement, and the only professional team in town? Don't miss out on the next Wilmington Hammerheads match. Show your support at their next game. Get your season tickets or single game tickets now at WilmingtonHammerheads.com.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.
National anthem is through. We are at Legion Stadium for USL Soccer, a rare midweek match here in Wilmington, North Carolina, between Wilmington Hammerheads FC and one of the hottest teams in the USL right now in Charlotte Independence. I'm Joe Katz alongside Chris Liebert for tonight's broadcast here on YouTube. We'll get to our starting lineups before our opening kick. First for Charlotte Independence, 5-2-0 right now in the Eastern Conference table. #1 team in the power rankings this week. Their goalkeeper is Cody Mizell. On the back line tonight for Charlotte will be Bilal Duckett, Patrick Slogic, Joel Johnson, and Henry Kalunge. Navigating the midfield will be June Davidson, Jan Ekra, Enzo Martinez, one of the club's leading goal scorers. On the front line, Caleb Calvert, Brian Brown, and David Estrada. For your Wilmington Hammerheads, coming off a 1-0 setback to the Richmond Kickers this past Saturday night, in goal will be John Smits. Pibo Dove will be in the defense alongside Michael Meekum, Bruno Peroni, and Tom Parrott. In the midfield tonight for Coach Mark Briggs in his first season, Logan Miller, Mael Corbos, Zev Tablib, Jeff Mishad, and Austin Martz. The lone attacker at forward will be Matthew Barnes-Homer. Chris, quick turnaround for both clubs. A beautiful night for soccer. Fitness may be a key word tonight, as we talked about during the pregame show. Temperatures around 80 degrees, low humidity, not a lot of sunshine, which probably is good for some of these players coming off Saturday night's match.
Yeah, it's definitely, again, we talked about anytime you want to have a couple days break. Again, this league used to have games when traveling teams played back-to-back. And we're not seeing that tonight. I mean, they're young enough. It's decent. Definitely want 48 hours. But, again, the weather's not a factor tonight. It's actually prime conditions for playing. So we should see a good match here.
Charlotte has made a big push up the standings over the last 3 weeks through a combination of a strong attack in the final third, a defense that has grown increasingly stingy as we head through the first few weeks of May. Charlotte moved to the top of this week's USL Power Rankings, coming off a 1-0 result against FC Montreal. They're on a 4-match winning streak, back-to-back shutouts to move them into second place within the Eastern Conference table with a 5-2-0 mark. Wilmington in their traditional blue kits will be moving left to right on your screen here in the first half. Charlotte in white moving right to left. Just about to get underway here from Legion Stadium in Wilmington, North Carolina. Wilmington stands at 2-3-2, coming off that heartbreaking setback against the Richmond Kickers back on Saturday night at City Stadium in Richmond. An own goal, the difference in that match.
Yeah, they've been unlucky this year and really have been in most of the games. Any time that you have games decided by one goal, and a lot of those goals have come late in the game, but definitely difference between last year.
And we are underway. It's USL Soccer here on YouTube. Tonight's officials, head referee Chris Spivey, Forrest Ambrose, Scott Bowers navigating the lines, and Patrick Whitman, our fourth official. Charlotte is 5-2-0 as we talked about, but Wilmington at 2-3-2, they've had some quick starts, just unable to put away opportunities over the last couple of weeks. Just one goal in the last 3 games, and that came in a 1-1 draw up at FC Cincinnati. Had a couple of early chances against Richmond on Saturday night. One struck the right post in the 2nd minute. The ensuing rebound with an open net was sent high over the crossbar, which really kind of leveled things out for Richmond, and then they were able to score on an own goal early in the second half.
Joe, we walked the field earlier. It's a difficult place to play. It's a narrow field for soccer. The length is where it's supposed to be, but you definitely see a bunch of lines on this field. They have moved it out a little bit, the sidelines, but it is still very tight here. So, again, a lot of either throw-ins or corner kicks are dangerous pieces, so something to keep your eye on.
We have a player down as we take a look at head coach Mark Briggs in his first season for the Wilmington side, a former player of the club. It's the 20th anniversary season for your Wilmington Hammerheads here in the Port City, southeast corner of the Tar Heel State on the Carolina coast.
Another look on that bench is midfielder Liam Miller for the Hammerheads out tonight. That's a big hole in the midfield for these Hammers, so that'll be something interesting to watch as well.
Ball pushed forward by Pibo Dove. It'll be out of play and a throw-in from the far side for Charlotte. Charlotte's defense has been stellar as of late. They've allowed just 18 shots on goal over the last 4 matches. Their goalkeeper, Cody Mazzell, made 14 saves during that same time frame. And a turnover right there by Wilmington gives the ball at the top of the 18 to number 19. Or number 9, excuse me. That was Brian Brown.
Yeah, certainly a place you don't want to see a turnover straight up the middle. John Smits had a word with his center back there, Michael Meekum, and again, that can be a costly area to turn the ball over, and Wilmington doing a good job and lucky there.
Long ball looking for the runner in David Estrada. Estrada, the team leader in assists this season for Charlotte. And excuse me, that last ball down towards the final third of Wilmington was number 19, Enzo Martinez, a player that broadcasters across the USL have called his name plenty this year. He's tied for the team leading goals with 3 for Enzo, along with Caleb Calvert, who put in the lone goal of the match in that win against FC Montreal this past Saturday night. Michael Meekum, rookie defender out of the hometown UNC Wilmington Seahawks, will play the ball forward to Zeb Tablib. And a couple of touches, the first string of touches put together by Wilmington, but quickly defended by David Estrada. And Henry Lagungi. Here we go. Kalungi. Sorry about that. Got my pronunciation guide settled here. Last home game, you were the one that had the pronunciation guide. Fortunately, I was not here for the FC Montreal match, and I know that was a tongue twister all in itself.
Absolutely brutal. I tell you what, that is an evening that I'm kicking my partner for not being here. I think it's done on purpose, but that's a situation there by Smits that, tell you, a little shaky in the back right now, these Wilmington Hammerheads. So, been in some lucky chances there that they've avoided a Charlotte goal.
Well, Smits has been steady for the most part for Wilmington between the posts. He's allowed just 6 goals in 7 matches, as each of the Hammerheads' 3 setbacks have been by just a single goal. So Wilmington has been in every match played thus far, and I think as we will talk with head coach Mark Briggs during halftime, he said that the record right now didn't really speak for how well the club has played thus far, but at the end of the day, it's results that matter, and right now, Hammerheads are just struggling to put the ball in the back of the net, and you need to do that if you're going to pick up 3 points in the league.
Yeah, each game that goes by that you don't pick up full points as the season goes on, it just gets harder and harder to keep your eyes and claws in the table to get a playoff spot. So, again, I mentioned in our pregame discussion there, at some point, this is where teams are defined. You certainly want to peak at the right point, but after you get through 5, 6, 7 games of the season, you really do need to be at the top and continuing to grow on top of the table.
Offside flag up on the far side as Jan Ekra was looking for Caleb Calvert. That'll be John Smits to take the kick for Wilmington Hammerheads FC. Just 6 minutes into tonight's match, 0-0 between Wilmington Hammerheads FC and Charlotte Independence, a pair of teams located about 4 hours drive between each other. First of 3 matches scheduled to be played between these two clubs this season. The only match between these two teams that will be here at Legion Stadium. The remaining 2 scheduled contests will be out in Charlotte later on this season. Enzo Martinez in the midfield for Charlotte. Zev Tablib coming in with a full head of steam there. Ran over Martinez. And Tablib, a player that Wilmington picked up towards the end of last season, plays with a lot of aggression. A guy that isn't the biggest in stature, but not afraid to mix it up with opponents, as we saw there, as Tom Parrott takes a swing and a miss. That was intentional to gain the throw-in. a nice big monitor here tonight, Chris. Looking good. Martinez applying the pressure now on Tom Parrott. It'll be Parrott wearing the captain's sleeve tonight for Wilmington, veteran defender in the right back. June Davidson will play for Charlotte. And now it's Parrott once again looking forward to Austin Martz. And dangerous ball there as Smits comes out of the penalty area to put a right foot on that ball and clear. Bilal Duckett will play. Joel Johnson. Nice play there by People Dove to get possession back for Wilmington. Bruno Peroni, one of the goal scorers for Wilmington this season, will play to the far side. On the far flank, moving forward for Wilmington, Matthew Barnes-Homer with the first touch of the evening. And it will be a goal kick for Charlotte Independence.
Yeah, Peroni actually being the leading scorer for the Hammerheads with just 2 goals in this early season. But that coming from one of your center backs, not a good situation. You need your forward to start putting the ball away. But it's nice to have defenders able to score goals, but you certainly don't want him your leading scorer.
Well, Peroni, probably the tallest guy on the field for Wilmington. You're going to see him on set pieces, corner kicks, looking to mix it up inside that 18-yard box. And that goal against FC Cincinnati was a big one early in the stage of that match, and Cincinnati was able to equalize with a familiar name for Wilmington fans and Paul Nicholson, who made over 100 appearances for the Wilmington side before getting picked up by the expansion club in Cincinnati and then going up against his former club, a defender by trade, and comes away with a rare goal against his former club. I'm sure that was a good one and a notch in the belt for Paul, a great guy.
Yeah, you certainly hate seeing that if you're a Wilmington Hammerhead faithful, but at the same time, if you're going to have somebody that throws a dart at you, it's somebody that was in uniform for so many years and so many games, and what a great ambassador for the league, and Paul Nicholson, and good for Paul. I know it was a little bit of a controversy of whether he was offsides or not, but again, if you're going to get a goal scored against you, that's the guy to do it.
Michaud will give it a look for Wilmington. Ball played back to Cody Mazzell. And Bilal Duckett will navigate with his peripherals and play ahead towards midfield. People Dove will put it out of play. And Charlotte will give back to Duckett. We'll send a right-footed strike. Looking for Brian Brown on the run, and it was Peroni who cleared it out of play.
Kind of quiet first few minutes of this match, Joe. Certainly both teams trying to find each other out, and it's a tough place, as we said, to play is on this artificial surface. The ball does some strange things, so it does take some time for teams to get used to the speed of a game match, but certainly a little quiet thus far in the first 12 minutes of this contest.
I would say not only the speed of the turf, the bounce that the ball plays off of, and then the width of the pitch, obviously a little bit smaller than what some clubs are used to, so just the flow of the game is much different here at Legion than it is at many of the other stadiums across the USL. People will take the throw in front of his own bench. Across midfield. It's Matthew Barnes-Homer, and one of those newcomers for Wilmington. Now the play is reversed here to the near side. Headed away by Patrick Slogic. Michael Meekum with the right foot to Peroni. Peroni with the colorful boots on tonight. This ball played a little far. Looking for number 7, Austin Martz. Slogic gaining some ground here with the throw-in. Parrott mixing it in. Sends the right foot looking for Mile Corbos. Corbos, you'll see him take set pieces for Wilmington from the corner. Off the free kick. Turned away. Nice play by Zev Tablieb here with some space. Will now play ahead to Austin Martz on his right foot. Martz with a couple of steps. David Estrada gaining ground, tackled away by Slogic. And the first corner kick of the match forthcoming for the Wilmington Hammerheads.
Yeah, good sign of burst of speed of Martz going around the outside. Well defended there by Slogic, but first little burst of energy from these Wilmington Hammerheads. So we see a first corner kick of the match here, and we see Corbaz over top of it. Watch out for Corbone coming in here.
Going towards the far post, looking for Peroni. Well defended by Bilal Duckett. And Peroni goes down. It's going to be a penalty kick. So while Duckett did everything he could to get the 6'4" Peroni to the ground.
I actually mispronounced it. I said Carbone, but Peroni is the one to look out for the header. But he gets his big body in the way. I don't know about that. He's lunging in a little bit himself. I see what the Independence defense and side is arguing about, but nonetheless, it's going to be a penalty kick. But I've seen worse situations. I felt that might have been a little self-inflicted there.
Last penalty taken by Wilmington Hammerheads FC was in that match against Cincinnati, and it was turned away by the Cincinnati goalkeeper. Now, Wilmington will have a golden opportunity set on the table for him.
Yeah, and here's a situation you don't want to see that. You got Peroni that wants to take the kick, and unbelievable. The bench is, you've seen that earlier in the week. You never really want to see the player foul take the kick, and there's too much emotion going on. Your blood pressure's going, but the international pro here, we'll see if he's going to be the hero in this situation.
Peroni, a very boisterous guy. Him and Smits get into it quite often. Peroni puts it in the back of the net, lower left frame. Bruno Peroni, the Wilmington Hammerheads leading goal scorer, tallies for the third time this season and gives the Wilmington Hammerheads a 1-0 advantage 15 minutes into the match.
It's a situation that go ahead, Peroni, point up here at the box when he watches this back, and he can, say, Chris, there's a reason why I'm on the field and you're up in the box. But, in some ways you want to see that. You want to see your leader take over, but you better make that kick.
Peroni right on the mark, and the Wilmington Hammerheads get their first goal in 2 matches now after being shut out against Richmond on Saturday night. Questionable kind of soft call there in the box, but Peroni had it measured up right away and was able to put it in the back of the net for the 1-0 lead.
Well, it gets Port City Firm excited over there on that far side. You see the white smoke blowing there, the official supporters group of these Wilmington Hammerheads. It's a Tuesday night. It's a tough time to get crowds. A lot of things going on with school and soccer still, and it's definitely good to see some faithfuls over on that far side celebrating a Hammerhead goal here at home.
Well, I'll be not doing my job if I fail to mention, as I do every match here at Legion Stadium, that far side, the bleachers there are about, I would say, maybe half the size of the stands here on the near side, and it was a late arriving crowd, obviously, like you said, a rare 7 o'clock kickoff on a Tuesday night. A lot of high school sporting events going on right now, particularly state playoffs when it comes to high school soccer, which is a big draw here for the Wilmington Hammerheads. So even with that, still a decent crowd here on the near side, and then it mirrors on that far side as the Port City Firm proudly cheer on their home side with the Wilmington Hammerheads leading 1-0 now. And we talked about Peroni, the goal scorer for Wilmington in the 15th minute last week, or against Richmond back on Saturday night. Tune into the match. Him and Smits, the goalkeeper for Wilmington, they were having words after words after words. I was waiting for a punch to be thrown out there on the pitch. But, you know, a lot of frustration, a lot of fire out there and you like to see that. Now, you would like to see that directed towards maybe your opponent. But when you're mixed in the back line and the goalkeeper, you see things a little differently, and Smits wants it done one way. Peroni's going to do it his own way.
It's brotherly teammate love, man. I mean, I've certainly been in a lot of situations as a goalkeeper in actually the early years of the United Soccer League and the USISL, but you have some of the best conversations with your center backs, almost like husband and wife. You can yell and scream at each other, and you know 10 minutes later you're going to be cooking dinner and having a good time. So certainly with two illustrated players such as those guys, they're professionals. They can sort it out.
That was a strong tackle there by Logan Miller on the far side, and great play there by Austin March to force another corner kick. Just as Charlotte was creeping in towards the top of the 18, Logan Miller came in, delivered a clean tackle, and Wilmington Hammerheads FC were able to counter. It'll be Mile Corbaz off of the corner kick. Corbaz taking his time. Again, a lot of discussion there with Matthew Barnes-Homer, the forward, getting the start today for Wilmington. And trying to figure out who that Charlotte player is. There's the cluster of players out there as Corbaz getting ready for the corner kick, second of the night, second for Wilmington.
Watch Peroni.
Look out for Peroni. He's crashing the near post now. Nearly put a foot on it, and it's bouncing around. Cleared away finally by Charlotte. And then Dovey will play back to Smits with the right foot. Looking for Logan Miller, finds his head. Matthew Barnes-Homer with a soft touch to the far side. Tom Parrott saves it in with the right foot. It'll cross, nearly kept in play by Wilmington. It'll be a goal kick for Cody Mazzell. Off that goal, first surrendered in 3 matches, excuse me. Charlotte coming off back-to-back clean sheets. So for Wilmington, a little too early yet to pack it in and say, let's defend. But you got to think they'd be building a lot of confidence right now with that 1-goal lead. Here in the 20th minute of the match. Charlotte has really yet to gain much opportunity there in that attacking third for the Independents at 5-2-0 right now.
Yeah, nothing dangerous so far for the Independents as far as goal-scoring opportunities. The only real chances have kind of been some shakiness in the back and perhaps some miscommunication with Smits and his back defenders, but Hammerhead's in a little bit more of a driver's seat as far as possession and chances so far.
As we will have a throw-in on that far side for Charlotte. Number 22, Joel Johnson. Looking, and it'll be Charlotte Independence winning the corner. Good effort there by Charlotte's Brian Brown, it looks like. And on the corner, still looking on that far side. Sent in towards the middle of the area. Peroni with the clear momentarily. And Corbaz.
Yeah, I don't know if John Smith saw that shot coming. Corbaz sticking his foot out there, and I think that might have found the back of the net. But good heads-up play by Corbaz. And again, I think Smits might have been beaten. He was standing in an upright position. No flinch at all, and that was pretty close to him. And no reaction at all. And that certainly would have been a We'll see a replay here, Joe.
Yeah, ball sent in, initially cleared by Peroni, but right to the foot of Jan Ekra, who sent a low strike that got in between everybody, and you're right there. If Corbaz is not there, that's a equalizer, which would have been huge for Charlotte. Instead, score remains 1-0 in favor of Wilmington. It's Austin Martz battling for possession. He gains it off the touch from Barnes Homer. Low cross in. Nobody home, but here's Dobe Peebo, and near goal there from Logan Miller was turned away by Slogic, and a shot by Corbaz is hit over the crossbar by Cody Mazel, the Charlotte keeper. Oh, wow.
Well, big save off the line. That's almost looks like a hockey kick save by Slogic. Here's a good look at it here. Good battle here. It's Kalungi. Another burst of speed as we see here. It's a good ball across, Joe. Shot going to be cleared off. Good little touch. Kick save there, and now watch this touch. Big save. That's good. Good pressure by the Wilmington Hammerheads.
Hammerheads with a flurry of punches here in the 23rd minute. Charlotte on their toes defensively. Have been stingy over the last couple of matches, and with the exception of the penalty, right there is the reason why. Solid goalkeeping from Cody Mazel. Great play there by Patrick Slogic to turn away Logan Miller, who has found the back of the net since the second match of the season, or excuse me, the first match of the season against Orlando City B. He scored the game winner in that contest, the season opener down in the Sunshine State.
Well, a lot of this pressure's coming from outside midfielder Austin Martz. He's doing a great job of getting around and turning the corner very quick. He's had two situations where he's been able to beat his defender, put a ball across, and again, just Charlotte narrowly missing, and a good save there by Slogic, a kick save off the line, and then a good touch by
wrapped
Mazel.
all around Logan Miller there. 25. Henry Kalungi was wrapped all around Miller. There was no call. Wilmington granted the throw-in here. It's Tom Parrott gaining some space, looking for Matthew Barnes Homer. Now it's back to Parrott, and cleared away by Charlotte. Looks like we'll see a caution here.
Well, that's the first talking to here. I think it's been relatively clean. Spivey, our center referee, is going to pull Parrott off. It was a little late. I don't think he's going to show any color here. It could be just a talking to. Sees where he is. He's going to go check on the player there.
Yeah, June Davidson down pretty hard there. Caught some spikes right into the shins. He's going to walk off okay.
No, he's going to go ahead and give it. Book, and that, it's, I think possibly seeing the height of that tackle, I'd have to see in the replay, but usually, that's the first hard foul of the game. Spivey probably could have gotten away with a talking to there to make both teams aware that he's there and has presence, but another way to look at it too is, hey, I am here and I do have presence, so here's the first caution of the game. There won't be any more.
Tom Parrott in the books in the 25th minute. First caution of the evening issued to Wilmington Hammerheads. The score remains in favor of Wilmington thanks to a Bruno Peroni penalty in the 15th minute of the match. Hammerheads have a 2-1 advantage in corner kicks. Both teams with a couple of chances here through the first 26 minutes. Wilmington the better of those chances. Charlotte nearly found the equalizer a couple of moments ago. There's this long ball played here on the near side. Misses Tom Parrott, and a full sprint here on the near flank. Charlotte wants to push. Caleb Calvert will play ahead. Michael Meekum there in the defense. Talked about Michael Meekum here in Wilmington, North Carolina. UNC Wilmington is the home university NCAA Division I soccer team. Has made a couple of appearances in the NCAA tournament. Michael Meekum a part of that club. A couple of seasons back defeated Bucknell in the first round. That looked to be a clean tackle, and Martinez kind of just tripped over the ball, it looked like. Instead, it'll be a free kick for the Independents.
Yeah, Hammerheads were a little upset about that, but it was from behind. It almost looked as if the player was launching himself and coming off of his feet there, and some studs showing. So I'm okay with that call there.
Enzo Martinez will take the free kick, sends it in, turned away by Tom Parrott. Played back by number 7, Jan Ekra. Stolen away by Austin Martz. Martz has some space. It's Ekra chasing. Martz still moving forward. Continues to keep his footing. Dribbles into the area. Sends the ball to Corbos just off the mark. Well, you got to like what Austin Martz has brought to the Wilmington side here over the last couple of matches. A burst of speed there following the turnover, and he was off to the races.
Well, Kalungi's certainly not a slow individual, and he's a lot, stridier than Martz there. But Martz, I mean, literally almost a 100-yard run with the ball on his foot and keeping pace. It's just another example there. He's catching a breather now as he's looking back, and you see his hands up, and that might be a side that you might want to go at right now, because that's a tough thing to do, making a 100-yard run with the ball at your feet, especially going up in the sorts of against a Kalungi. I'd like to see you, partner, go up against Kalungi. I think you would show the fans.
I don't know if my fitness is ready to be tested with 100-yard sprints, and then I can maybe do a 100-yard sprint, one of them, and then put me, sub me out, because I'm pretty much worthless for the rest of the match. Brian Brown dribbling in one-on-one with Tom Parrott, giving away to Patrick Slogic, and he sends it off of Parrott, and it will be
corner kick.
A corner kick, second one of the match for the Independents. With those beautiful highlighter colored boots, Enzo Martinez. He's got 3 scores this season.
Keep an eye on Kalungi here, Joe, coming in around the outside, big body.
Round the outside,
and
round
there
the
he is,
outside. And the header
up.
hops over the crossbar, and for Wilmington, it's the turf that plays to their advantage here, with that ball hopping, a hop, skip, and then a jump over the crossbar.
Yeah, Smith's got a touch on that. That's why we're going to see another corner here. This is a good replay. Ball headed. Again, there's Kalungi. Takes a big bounce. That's a touch there. I'd like to see who that touch was against, but
looked like it was number 11, David Estrada, who was able to get a head on that, but there John Smith's last touch just sailed over the bar. 30th minute of action here. Back-to-back corner kicks for Charlotte Independence. It's Enzo Martinez. Both hands high. And nobody home as Meekum clears for the moment. Wind and fired with the left foot was Jan Ekra. And Charlotte applying the pressure here a half hour into the first half.
Yeah, Wilmington's had several clearances that they've been first to the ball, but the clearances have gone right into the middle. We see a short corner here. It could be dangerous.
And it's
another corner coming up, Joe.
Nicked away there by Zev Tablib, who is matched up against Enzo Martinez. Talked about Martinez with 3 goals this season for Charlotte. Caleb Calvert with 3. David Estrada has a couple of tallies with a couple of assists. And Martinez wants to go to the far post now. Headed down, out of play by Charlotte. And it'll be a free kick for Wilmington Hammerheads FC goalkeeper John Smits. So the Hammerheads able to stand this latest push by Charlotte. And they maintain the 1-goal lead. Smits will send one towards midfield. Logan Miller, the first to touch. We talked about good goalkeepers here for the Wilmington side over their 20 seasons. Chris Liebert being one of those, the initial goalkeeper goalkeeper for Wilmington in their first season back in '96?
No, I wasn't here yet at that time. I had a little stint around 2000, but that's about it. They found a place for me right in being in the front office and keeping me off the pitch. My time had come and gone.
But speaking of those goalkeepers, Andre Rawls, who played with Wilmington last year, actually earned an invite to the MLS affiliate for Wilmington Hammerheads FC and NYC FC. And he actually earned a spot on the club for this season after some stellar play for Wilmington last year. And boy,
yeah, here's another turnover, Joe. That's costly. You might big heavy first touch there by Enzo Martinez, but again, another turnover right up the middle. I think that was Meeks again. Just, this turf is fast, and a couple inches one way or the other, it goes right past you. But Martinez having a big, heavy first touch. He was certainly into goal and didn't get a shot off.
And you got to give a little credit there to Meekum, the Wilmington defender, who stuck with it, made the mistake, but then hustled back to turn away Martinez as the one-timing shot from David Estrada sails well high of the frame. And Meekum, a rookie defender, you're going to see those mistakes from time to time, but really what you like to see is his recovery there as we see the replay of the shot from Estrada sent into the right field of Buck-Hardy Field, which is parallel to or perpendicular to
well, it's one of the two, Joe, so you can't
parallel. I guess you could say it's parallel.
It's
to the
right
pitch.
next to. How about that?
Yeah. All right, good idea. It's Estrada whistled for the foul with Tom Parrott on the ground. Parrott missed a couple of the matches due to injury. Good to see him back out there. He's got his playoff beard on already for
he's
the midseason push.
Yeah, he's a big hockey fan as well. He wants to fit in.
There's Michael Meekum with the right foot. Peebo Dove will take the throw-in for the Hammerheads. Logan Miller. Miller playing with the right foot. The Corbaz was turned away by Henry Kalungi. Matthew Barnes homer to Tom Parrott. Well, it's Corbaz with a nifty little touch there, but once again, Henry Kalungi will play off. Nice move there by number 6, June Davidson. Was looking for a Charlotte attacker there. Couldn't find him. Slogic will play forward. David Estrada. Deflected away by Corbaz. Couple of touches there. Tob Lieb to Austin Martz. Here's Martz on the near flank again. Matthew Barnes homer, settles, plays too far for Martz here on the near flank.
Yeah, it's a good series of touches there. Some good football to watch, and unfortunate that Barnes Home can't get a good ball to a streaking Martz and putting him in an area where he wants to run. He's run with the ball, put him in a channel where he can run. Wasted opportunity there.
Well, on the play, you see the midfielder on the far side, Jeff Michaud. I haven't called his name too much today, kind of waving at Matthew Barnes homer. And look at me next time. Martz had some space here on this side, and they've obviously found, I don't want to say a weakness, but they're looking to push it this way. Nice ball sent in by Peroni here towards Parrott. Parrott with a bending ball, found the foot of Barnes homer, but he could not finish. Great ball sent in there by Tom Parrott. It all started with Peroni on the far side, cleared it here with a beautiful pass to Parrott. You saw it shaping up beautifully, and he sent in a perfect shot into, or pass to Barnes homer, and he gets the left foot on that ball, and it's pretty much a 2-0 lead. Wilmington with the corner kick, though. So not over yet Corbaz with the right foot, punched away by Mizzle. Toblieb looking to keep it in play, and it'll be a foul call, so a free kick opportunity coming up for Wilmington.
Toblieb down here, Joe. Guys, referee will check on him. Here's a replay of. He comes in high. I tell you, I mean that's no different. It's high. That's a tough tackle, and I don't see any difference between that and what Tom Parrott got booked for. And you know, that's just as dangerous in my opinion. Very dangerous.
So a good opportunity here for Mile Corbaz. He's got a couple of assists this season. We've seen a couple of great balls sent in by Wilmington tonight. I mean, so Corbaz will send a low strike in this time. Slogic was able to head it away, guarding Peroni, who was double covered. But you look at the opportunities here for Wilmington, like you say, a couple inches here, a couple inches there. And this could be a 3-1, a 2-1. It could be multiple goals scored already here in this first half as the score remains 1-0 in favor of Wilmington.
Yeah, first 12 minutes or so, kind of boring. But certainly the last 20 minutes or so have been entertaining, and we've seen some great opportunities. And you know, as a PK, a good goal to watch. Well, it's in the back of the net, and it's on the scoreboard, and there's a great move there.
Great opportunity there with the left foot from Brian Brown. He just kind of came over the top of it,
chopped it.
And we talk about the turf here at Legion Stadium all the time, and players not used to striking the ball on this surface. You see that happen time in and time out here, as Brian Brown was the victim of the turf monster here.
No, I did a great move. Brown made a great move to get in position, just was unlucky on the strike. And again, it's hard to hit off of this surface. Another clear up the middle there. That's 4 times now. Wilmington's clear's not being cleared out of danger, and it stays in possession for the Independents.
Turned away by Pibo Dove for the moment. Charlotte will look to play in. It does, and Wilmington keeps it in play. Would have been a corner kick there. Instead, the Hammerheads will push forward. Full head of steam there from Jeff Michaud. The Hammerheads will gain the throw-in at midfield. Looking to surge forward. Austin Martz now kind of reversing his position on the far side of the pitch now. Martz still battling with Bilal Duckett. Duckett finally gains possession, but it goes right back to Wilmington, back to Duckett. Well, the physicality of play here is picked up here in the late stages of this first half. 40 minutes in. 1 goal in the back of the net off the foot of Bruno Peroni on a penalty in the 15th. Peroni will play a little too hard off the foot of Logan Miller. And Charlotte will go on the attack. Ball sent in looking for number 8, Caleb Calvert, and then it was Brian Brown, but Mecomb was able to get just enough of that ball to keep it away from Brian Brown. Independence gaining some momentum here in the 41st. And it'll be a Charlotte corner kick. So both teams have been able to seize momentum throughout portions of this first half. The corner coming up for Enzo Martinez.
Yeah, very important for the Wilmington Hammerheads to get out of this half with this lead. A goal would be detrimental here.
This one popped away by Tom Parrott. Skyball off the head now of Joel Johnson. Opportunity here. Smits will come out. Open net and a goal for Charlotte. The equalizer has been found for the Independents. The tough sequence for Wilmington. And the goal looks like it'll go to either Bilal Duckett, looks like is the goal scorer. As we take a look at the replay, number 9, Brian Brown. So he's able to make good on his missed opportunity a couple of moments ago. Comes back with an easy goal.
Yeah, it's another example of a missed clearance, and it just doesn't get out of danger. That's 5 now, and it was only a matter of time that Charlotte was going to capitalize on some misfortunate clearances, not out of danger. We just mentioned it prior to. I'm sorry that I had to mention it before, that giving up a goal in this situation would be detrimental.
You jinxed us.
1-1 coming into the half, but that's certainly a situation where you have to pick up better clearances and get the ball out in the waning moments of the first half, or at any time with a few minutes left in either side of the halves.
So just like that, we are square at 1 goal apiece. Brian Brown able to tally the equalizer for Charlotte on a flurry for the Independents, and Smits was pulled off of the end line, and it was an easy goal and an easy call there on the tackle from Zev Tablib.
Yeah, you see some frustration by Charlotte there, and they won a card, but they've been in the situation where they've had some questionable calls just as much. So, stay away from the referee unless it is the only thing that's coming your way, but it's both sides doing it. Stay away there and just let the referee do his job. I hate to see that when players get involved there. The guy standing on the ball, Duckett, is the one. He's lucky his teammate didn't get a yellow card caution the play before when a player's coming in high. So, you want him to stay, let him play, and get away from that. And if he wants to argue that much, he's got to be able to accept the fact that he's lucky his own player didn't get one earlier.
Playing back here now to Henry Kalungi. It's Cody Mazzell. We'll have 2 minutes of extra time on the pitch here in the first half. During our halftime break, we will catch up with Wilmington Hammerheads FC head coach Mark Briggs. First year midfielder Liam Miller will also join me during our halftime chat here at Legion Stadium. But Charlotte looking to go ahead here now with a great opportunity, and it looked like it was Michael Meekum, who has been the last line of defense several times here tonight for Wilmington. As Logic now will play in.
Yeah, you've got 2 minutes left in this half here. You certainly, if you're Wilmington, you need to pick up. You don't want to go 2-1 down at this point. You've got to pick up some energy here and get importance of clearances.
So we've reached the 45th minute. Time will be kept, of course, on the pitch by tonight's referee. Corbaz with a touch. Zev Tablib will scan the pitch, play to the far side. Big turnover there for Wilmington, and Charlotte's going to counter Peroni.
It's a big, strong tackle there by Peroni.
Peroni steps right in there, and he's a intimidating character. The lone goal scorer for Wilmington tonight, off the penalty in the 15th minute. Patrick Slogic plays back to Kalungi. Brian Brown, the goal scorer, turns it over. Tom Parrott now at the Corbaz. Good recovery there. It's Enzo Martinez. We'll send it to the far side. Estrada keeps it alive. Brown, a little chip shot, headed away by Peroni.
That should do it there, Joe.
And that's the halftime whistle. Score tied, Wilmington Hammerheads FC 1, Charlotte Independence with a late goal here in this first half to equalize, thanks to Brian Brown with the score. And we are level at 1 goal apiece here at the half. Chris Liebert alongside myself, Joe Katz, here in the booth at Legion Stadium. We get to our halftime break. Coach Mark Briggs will talk with us alongside Liam Miller, not dressed tonight for Wilmington. Talked with Liam a little bit about his first season here in the port city of Wilmington, North Carolina. Take a quick break. We'll get back to the action here in a moment at Legion Stadium, where the score is tied 1-1.
At ILM, we're bigger than a welcome home hug. We're stronger than the connections we make. We're your neighbor. We're your friend.
We are your school spirit.
We are your history.
We are your biggest fans.
And we all fly
And we all fly
ILM.
ILM.
We are comfort, convenience, and community pride. We are more than just an airport. We are your airport.
We are ILM.
We are ILM.
We are ILM.
She was once considered the world's greatest sea weapon and went on to become one of the most highly decorated American battleships of World War II. Now moored in downtown Wilmington, she's one of the most highly decorated family attractions in North Carolina, serving a new generation as an exciting, hands-on historical adventure. Have a blast exploring the past aboard the battleship North Carolina. Adventure calls.
Looking for action, excitement, and the only professional team in town? Don't miss out on the next Wilmington Hammerheads match. Show your support at their next game. Get your season tickets or single game tickets now at WilmingtonHammerheads.com.
We are at the half here at Legion Stadium between Wilmington Hammerheads FC and Charlotte Independence. Joining us now is the first-year head coach of the Wilmington Hammerheads, and Mark Briggs. And Coach Briggs, a couple of matches here with just a few days of recovery and training to get ready for tonight's contest. How does fitness play a role when you have a schedule like we've had here over the last couple of days?
You know, it plays a big role. You know, we're trying to keep the team fresh. So we made a few changes with that in mind, and obviously a hard game on a big field up in Richmond, then come back and turn around in 72 hours to play a home game on our turf. You have to take those things into consideration.
Two-match road swing kind of in the books now. Maybe not the results that you had wanted, going 0-1 with a tie against Cincinnati, and then a setback against Richmond. Really a heartbreaker, letting up an own goal, and I could see your eyes roll a little frustration there. I thought you played pretty well throughout the course of that match. Had some chances early. Goals have been hard to come by over the last 3 matches for you. You make an addition here with an attacking forward added to the club this week. How do you expect the boys to bounce back from a tough stretch here over the last couple of games?
Yeah, to be honest, we knew going to Cincinnati and to Richmond it was always going to be tough games. Cincinnati, we came away with a point, and I felt a point was probably a fair result, although I wasn't happy with certain decisions. Richmond, I felt, to be honest, we were the best team by far. But again, we didn't take our chances. We should have been 1-0 up after 2 minutes, and then we had a couple of other opportunities that we didn't take our chances. And in this game, if you don't take your chances, you don't win games.
Going back to that FC Cincinnati, I know it's in the books, but playing an expansion club in the USL, playing in that type of environment, they lead the league right now in attendance. To see a crowd like that come out for a match with you being on the turf for that game, how did that feel, and how do the boys respond to playing in front of 10, 11,000 fans?
It's fantastic, and for a lot of the people in that locker room, they've never experienced playing in front of crowds like that. Which was a focus when we picked the team, and when we did the team talk, we spoke to them about enjoying the occasion and taking the opportunity and not leaving anything out there, which I'm sure they did, and they loved playing in front of that crowd. And if you're a professional player, that's what you want to do. So they loved the opportunity, and they did well in the environment, and I was pleased with a point.
Head coach Wilmington, the Wilmington Hammerheads, Mark Briggs. Coach, good luck in the second half, and we're in a little bit of a home stretch here over the next couple of games, so we look forward to talking with you here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, thank you. Look forward to it.
He's the head coach of the Wilmington Hammerheads, Mark Briggs. I'm Joe Katz. We'll take a quick break. Second half kickoff coming your way right after this.
Stretched out to the middle. Back to
Broke it up. There's a shot. They score! They score! Gerardo Fords.
At ILM, we're bigger than a welcome home hug. We're stronger than the connections we make. We're your neighbor. We're your friend.
We are your school spirit.
We are your history.
We are your biggest fans.
And we all fly
And we all fly
ILM.
ILM.
We are comfort, convenience, and community pride. We are more than just an airport. We are your airport.
We are ILM.
We are ILM.
We are ILM.
She was once considered the world's greatest sea weapon and went on to become one of the most highly decorated American battleships of World War II. Now moored in downtown Wilmington, she's one of the most highly decorated family attractions in North Carolina, serving a new generation as an exciting, hands-on historical adventure. Have a blast exploring the past aboard the Battleship North Carolina. Adventure calls.
Looking for action, excitement, and the only professional team in town? Don't miss out on the next Wilmington Hammerheads match. Show your support at their next game. Get your season tickets or single game tickets now at WilmingtonHammerheads.com.
We're at the break here at Legion Stadium in Wilmington, North Carolina, as your Wilmington Hammerheads are continuing their fight against Charlotte Independence. We're continuing our halftime break with one of the newcomers to the club, and Liam Miller. And Liam, new face to the team this season, first time in the Wilmington area. How are you adjusting to life here in North Carolina?
Yeah, personally, very well, to be fair. Obviously, a big transition, I suppose, with all the players, the faces in and everything. So, yeah, I think performances are definitely there, and hopefully the results will start to kick in as well.
Not only as a football player, but also, just as a person in your private life. Not that you have much time for private life right now, with being in the middle of the season. But how has Wilmington kind of welcomed you, and how have you fit into our hometown so far?
Really, really nice place, I have to say. People have been super friendly, and yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful part of the world. I think obviously, beautiful beach and lovely city as well. So yeah, really enjoying it overall.
As we get back onto the pitch, a new head coach this season. Also, in addition to some newcomers on the roster, how has Briggsy, adjusted to his life as a head coach, being a former player?
Yeah, I think the transition's been very smooth for Mark. I think obviously the fact that he's a former player as well helps with all the lads, and obviously there's a good communication barrier there, him being a previous player as well, so yeah, really positive from the players' point of view.
Liam, as we kind of wrap up our conversation tonight, obviously you're not geared up for tonight's match, but with that said, you bring a lot of experience to the pitch and to this club this season. There's a good mix of youth and experience on this team. How has your experience really shed to some of the other players, and what can you give to some of the guys to help them get fit to figure out what it takes to be successful here at this level?
I think the most important thing is everyone's on the same page and pulling forward together, first and foremost. And I think obviously you've got a mixture of a lot of young boys there as well. And I think the main thing as well is they're very eager to get better and eager to learn, which is the most important thing. So yeah, a lot of pluses for the club.
Liam, it was great meeting you, and hopefully come May 21st, our next home match, we'll see you back on the pitch.
Thanks very much.
Liam Miller, one of the newcomers to the Wilmington Hammerheads. I'm Joe Katz. We'll finish up our halftime break. We'll get to the second half of action right after this.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.
All right, just a few moments away from a second half kickoff here. It was turned out to be a beautiful night at Legion Stadium. It's a 1-1 tie heading into the final 45 minutes of action. I'm Joe Katz, Chris Liebert here in the booth with me this evening as we get a look at some of the first half highlights. Chris, just some thoughts as we see Bruno Perroni go down to that 15th minute questionable call in the box, resulting in Wilmington's lone goal thus far, as Perroni able to make good on his opportunity from the penalty area. It was a bit of a controversial call that got him to the penalty, and then Perroni and Matthew Barnes-Homer were getting into it, teammates trying to figure out who was going to take the penalty kick, but Perroni's able to find the back of the net.
Yeah, you'll see some of these highlights, Joe. I mean, this is certainly some opportunities for these Hammerheads that they should have put away, and some good saves. But the missed clearances, the poor clearances on the end of the Wilmington Hammerheads put them in trouble. You see here possibly the goal that Charlotte does connect on. Yeah, missed clearance, missed clearance, missed clearance, missed clearance, and then finally a goal. We said it right before, and just not a good time to give up a goal right before half.
Yeah, so Charlotte really seized the momentum moving into this second half of action. It'll be Wilmington moving right to left on your screen. Charlotte in white moving left to right, of course. Goal scorers, Bruno Perroni in the 15th minute for Wilmington. Brian Brown equalized, I believe it was about the 42nd, 43rd minute of the first half, just before the break, to kind of knock the hopes of what Wilmington thought was going to be a solid first half of action. They've had some opportunities. Couple of good balls sent in to the penalty area. Charlotte, a team that has been stingy on the defensive end for the last 2-3 matches now. They are 5-2-0. Second in the Eastern Conference table. Wilmington right now, I know we got plenty of time to go before we talk about playoff action, but top 8 teams from each conference make the playoffs. Wilmington sitting at 9th right now at 2-3-2.
Yeah, Wilmington certainly needs 3 points tonight, Joe, to keep in the, not get caught in the backwash of the upper half of the table. And again, game after game after game that you don't pick up full points, your playoff hopes are going to be a struggle midseason to the end. And certainly while you're here at home, I know you're playing against a team that's on a hot streak, but this is the one that you have to take to get your points to keep you in the glimpse of playoffs.
Charlotte, winners of 4 straight matches, coming off back-to-back shutouts. That's not the case today, with the score tied at 1. With the second half of action just underway from Legion Stadium in Wilmington, North Carolina. Wilmington, of course, on the southeast coast of the Tar Heel State, Carolina coast. It's hard to tell Wilmington. There are so many Wilmingtons across the country that you think maybe Wilmington, Delaware is the one that sticks out to me, being an East Coast boy. But there are many Wilmingtons here in North Carolina. Wilmington, I would say the fifth biggest city, with Charlotte, Raleigh, Greensboro, Winston-Salem. And then I would say maybe a Fayetteville, Wilmington, probably very close to each other in size. Fayetteville being the home of Fort Bragg military base, the largest Army base on the East Coast. But Wilmington here, just about a 90-minute ride north of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, 2 hours southeast of Raleigh. You get that geographically all set for you.
Yeah, keep your hands and arms in at all times and enjoy your ride now that you know where you are. And
well, it's good to know where you
are. Thank you for joining
here.
us on Wilmington FC Travel Channel.
I'm waiting for that call from AAA
Absolutely.
to help me out here. You see assistant coach for Wilmington trying to talk up his boys there as that throw-in was here on the near side. This ball played in by Brian Brown. A little too far for number 4, Patrick Slogic. Slogic was in there in the first half. He turned away a potential goal, which would have really given the Hammerheads advantage. A beautiful ball played in to Logan Miller, who had a chip shot, and he did all he could to find the net. And Slogic was at the right place at the right time to turn that ball away.
Yeah, not quite off the line, but certainly a kick save that was finding the target, and that was a huge difference, honestly, in the scoreboard of this game here.
Yeah, I would say Charlotte has done the little things in that final third defensively where Wilmington has just struggled to clear that ball. You saw several clearances go right to, Charlotte just outside the 18-yard line, and while they didn't pay too much, they paid just enough there where Independence were able to get a late goal here in that first half to tie things up. This ball played in. I want to say it was number 14, Jeff Meshad. We didn't talk too much about Meshad there in that first half. Bibo Dove, we just saw him. Busy first half in that back line alongside Bruno Perroni, Michael Meacham. I've announced his name so many times, and sometimes it just comes out the wrong way. So, still, time and time again. Tom Parrott back there wearing the captain's sleeve tonight. Logan Miller looking for that last touch, looking for Dove, who is coming all the way from the back line. Perroni mixed up with Enzo Martinez. He was looking for a call. Perroni works a fine line. He's one of those guys that you love to have him on your team, but if you're playing against him, you absolutely despise the guy.
Yeah, Martinez thought that he got clipped trying to turn the corner there against Perroni.
I think Perroni, he would scrap with anybody. He'll scrap with his teammates. He'll scrap with the other opponents. He just wants to get out there and make something happen. Stir the pot. You need it. Every team, good club needs one. It's Martinez, who is battling up with Zev Tablib there. Have a throw in here on the near side. Joel Johnson. Playing on the foot of Estrada. Both players, Hammerheads players, kind of looked at each other there, said, who's going to take it? I'm going to take it. Miller with the header. Good pass with the chest there from Brian Brown. Charlotte with the possession. A little chip from Martinez to the near side, Johnson. Turned away by Peroni. Couple of nice moves right there. Couple of nice touches by Wilmington, but ball turned right back over to number 9, Brian Brown, the goal scorer for Charlotte tonight. Oh, it's Martinez working the ball. And we have an offside flag up here on the near side.
Yeah, Martinez had a go at this linesman or assistant referee on this near sideline. He's had a couple opinions to no avail here, and
A couple of Pinos. Ball played in. Tom Parrott had it deflected by David Estrada. Now Charlotte's on the move once again. Ball played in. Hopped away from Smits there, but no harm, no foul. As Smits will take the free kick. But you see that ball just bounce off the surface and just glide quickly.
yeah, it certainly does some funny things. And again, they usually moisten, this turf with some water. As it gets harder, it does, even though there's no dirt to compact, it does help out when there's some water on it, and they move around the black pebbles as you often see on turf, and it does become compact, so it's certainly a little harder tonight. I didn't see him. There's a great shot taken and just over the bar there, well covered by Mizell, but a good opportunity for Wilmington.
Good shot from distance there by Mile Corbos. Better chances here in the second half of action, 52nd minute. As we take a look at that replay, he crept in just inside, I want to say just outside the 18-yard line. That ball just sailed over the crossbar.
Yeah, it's a good hit there. It's on frame and just unlucky.
So Wilmington, I would say, despite their inability to find the back of the net tonight, with the exception of the penalty, once again they were putting themselves in position here to score goals. They just unable to convert.
Yeah, again, we've talked about your center back being your leading scorer now with 3 goals on the season, and again, his being the leading scorer. You need to see some stuff out of your offensive positions, and I know that the Hammerheads made an earlier trade, this week, and there's a good chance that we see
Casey
some changes
Townsend
later on. Yeah, that's coming from OKC, and again, that I think that trade was made to be able to get some more offensive threat.
Yeah, you have Townsend on the bench available tonight. Q Lawal, another guy with some speed in the attacking third of the forward position on the bench. Now, we'll likely see one of those two faces and names here as we head towards the latter parts of tonight's match.
If not both.
Townsend was a pickup for Wilmington just a couple of days ago. He had 1 goal, 6 assists last year for OKC Energy FC. This spring played just 1 match before he was let go by the club out in Oklahoma City. A University of Maryland graduate, and the most recent free agent signee by this Wilmington club, who over the last season or two have been very active throughout the course of the year, making signings, trying to add talent to their club, looking to fill maybe positions that whether are open because of injury or just looking to increase their potential. So
we're going to see a free kick here, Joe, as Wilmington's going to have an opportunity. They will push forward again. This is a place you want to look for. Peroni, these are the situations where you want to see your center back getting involved in scoring some goals. So late call there by the center referee, and you see Wilmington lining up and treating it almost as a corner here. You'll see some far post runs and trying to pick out Peroni.
It'll be Corbaz with the forthcoming free kick. Peroni trying to stay on side. Looking to the far side net. It was Miller diving here on the near post, just a little past his outstretched body there. A little too hard by Corbaz. Sun setting here along the banks of the Cape Fear River. As we gave you that geographical note from a couple of minutes ago. Now, if you really want to get into it, here in Wilmington, as I gave you the direction of where we are compared to some of the other notable cities around our area, in Wilmington, on the banks of the Cape Fear River, we are sandwiched kind of in a V area, a V-shaped type area, kind of like a golden triangle.
Fantastic. Let's get back to the game here. And
with the Cape Fear River and the Atlantic Ocean, we are sandwiched right between.
Apologize for my partner here tonight. He's loves to tell everyone where this stadium is located, but here's an opportunity for Charlotte, and it's going to be off and a late call, so you'll see a free kick here for the Charlotte Independents and a dangerous situation forthcoming for these Hammerheads.
The beautiful golden sunsets out here on the Cape Fear River as we face kind of westbound on the Cape Fear River, so picturesque evening here in Wilmington, North Carolina. Good opportunity here for Charlotte. Tough situation for Wilmington on the defense. This ball chipped in, a little chip shot here. Peroni find the tallest player on the pitch, and that's Bruno Peroni. And another failed clearance there. Fortunately, Wilmington able to survive that one as Jan Ekra has had a couple of chances there from that 18-yard line. And we'll have our first sub of the night.
Yeah, that's about the fifth or sixth ball, Joe, that's dropped right in the center outside of the box there. And as we saw just before the halftime break, it caused a problem for Wilmington, which equalized us here. And another poor clearance there, and they really do need to clean this up as the latter parts of this game grows on.
Zach Pfeffer will come on for Charlotte Independence. First sub of the match. Looked like he went off, or I couldn't tell who went off as I was looking at that beautiful sunset behind us. I do know that Zach Pfeffer is on for Charlotte. As Wilmington is starting to gain possession now here at the midfield, playing back to Meekum. Now it's Tom Parrott. Parrott sent in a beautiful cross earlier today. Just missed Matthew Barnes' homer. Barnes' homer was right there for a goal, just couldn't get a foot on it. And Charlotte well defended there against Parrott. Tablieb will play off his foot, out of play. Port City Firm trying to cheer their home side to a goal here. You can't say all would be lost with a tie tonight or a draw, but you would like to come away with, of course, 3 points if you're Wilmington. If you're Charlotte, anytime you play on the road, you know, you're okay with 1 point. And when you're at 5-2-0 right now on a quick turnaround week where you're playing games on Saturday and then a Tuesday, and you get one, come away with a result, that's a whole different ball game. As Charlotte pushing now. Meekum standing strong in the defense. Able to turn away Enzo Martinez. Now it's Tablieb who's giving chase, but Slogic nestled it away to June Davidson. Number 3, Bilal Duckett, captain tonight for Independence, playing back to Kalungi. Left-footed cross, a little too far. Play continues here in this final third for Wilmington. Brown able to keep it in play. Well, Johnson was in the mix, and now Wilmington will take over. Kind of some back and forth play over the last few sequences here in the 60th minute.
Yeah, Barnes Homer has to hold that first. Does some better touches there, but that first ball in, he's got to hold that ball up. He puts his defense right back into trouble.
Good recovery there by Slogic as he slipped on the turf. Still able to get a head on it as Corbaz was looking for Austin Martz. And here's Wilmington pushing into the penalty area, and it's off the side of the frame. Looking for a corner. Arguing was Jeff Michaud. Well, he's not going to get the benefit of the doubt there.
Yeah, you'd like to see a ball there from Martz coming across. We'll see if we get a touch here on this.
That was Logan Miller.
Miller. Yeah,
Looked like the keeper may have touched that ball. Corbaz, the guy's going to send plenty of quality touches for you on the passing end of things. Now it's Logan Miller with the right foot looking for Austin Martz on the far flank. Martz giving chase, Logic defending, cross into Barnes Homer is scooped up by Cody Mizell, the Charlotte keeper.
Martz is so quick and doing a great job of catching up to that ball there. He's so dangerous on that outside. Saw a lot of examples in the first half, and that really led to the pressure from Wilmington. He's on side here. This is trouble for Wilmington.
It's David Estrada, and it's turned away at the last moment by Pivo Dove. Great recovery there. Because Estrada looked like he had all the time in the world on a 1v1 opportunity, and then Dove comes out of nowhere to deflect that ball. Still corner kick, not out of the woods yet. As you see Dove come from out of the picture frame to make that deflection. Enzo Martinez with the corner kick. Smits into his mitts. Working it today, Chris. Working it today. It's Tuesday. You know, you're fresh here on a Tuesday. Saturday night matches. You know, you're hanging at the beach in Wilmington all day at Wrightsville Beach. That's where we go. Or Carolina Beach. Taste, you know, whatever your taste is.
Well, yeah, certainly our fans didn't know that they were going to get a soccer and a traffic lesson here tonight. I apologize. If there's anyone even still listening, I certainly might have turned this off.
You might have turned this off, huh?
Pulled the plug on plug and play. Yeah, Barnes Homer coming off.
And we'll see Kyle Parker, one of the young boys on the club this year. Cedar Stars Soccer Academy product out of New Jersey. We know where that is, right? It's located next to New York. Excuse me, he's from Columbus, Ohio. Right on the mark there. Parker going to look to bring a little flair. Matthew Barnes Homer gave it a good 65 minutes of action. And Krista just is speechless here in the last 3 minutes. Has nothing to say.
No, it's a good run there by Jan Ekra. Certainly could have been a foul. Referee yells play on there, and several Wilmington Hammerheads grabbing and tugging, and there's a good shot there. Mark Briggs and trying to decipher, seen a little frustration out of him tonight. He's at a point now. He's got to pick up points. He's in his first year, and he's been in games. He just needs the over-the-top finisher or someone to put the ball in the back of the net and not give up bad goals. That's another bad goal that his team has given up this evening in crucial areas, either the first 5 minutes of the game, Joe, or the last 5 minutes of the half, last 5 of the game is when the goals have come for against these Wilmington Hammerheads, and those are absolute daggers.
Score remains 1-1 here in the 66th minute of action. Port City firm, loud and clear from the far side of the pitch. Trying to get this Wilmington side a go-ahead goal. Played here on the near side. It's number 22, Joel Johnson. Taking it on. Good tackle there by Jeff Michaud for Wilmington. It's a throw-in for Johnson. Looking to work quickly to Enzo Martinez. Nice little flurry of passes there for Charlotte. Low pass, kick save and a beaut by Smith, turned away by Tom Parrott.
Wow, 2 big shots there. Big kick save by Schmitz, and I do believe Tom Parrott got on the end of the other follow-up one, but here's a replay coming up of the sequence.
And it all started with that throw-in and just, triangle passes there, low cross sent in, right on the foot of Brian Brown, who was looking for his second goal of the night. It looked like Corbaz slid in and caught a piece of it instead of Tom Parrott. But Martinez sent that strike well off the mark.
Yeah, good save there by Schmitz, and that's certainly one that Charlotte's kicking themselves. Tom Parrott might have pulled something. I don't think he was on the end of that ball, but the lunging motion might have gotten him. This could be the end of his night. We'll see the exchange of the captain's band perhaps coming from Tom Parrott.
So Tom Parrott will go off, and Logan Miller will actually go off.
Yeah, you see Justin Moose coming on here. But definitely a substitution for Tom Parrott. We should see an exchange of a captain's band at some point.
So it looks like Parrott is trying to come back on. Talking with Troy Cole, the athletic trainer for Wilmington Hammerheads FC, former
a little bit of a hamstring.
Former player.
Yeah, it could have been in the lunging motion there. So the Hammerheads are playing a man down here as perhaps Mark Briggs can get a substitute in the defensive part of his side.
Logan Miller still on. As now, Jeff Michaud will go off, and Justin Moose will see his first action tonight.
You still see Tom Parrott over on that far side getting worked on by Troy Cole, the physio for the Hammerheads. Still playing a man down is Wilmington.
Dovey with the throw-in. Looking for Logan Miller. Played on the foot of Zev Tablieb. He gets run over by Enzo Martinez, and Tablieb is able to draw the foul. And it looks like Parrott is going to go off or stay off. I don't think he came back on for a moment, now going to go off as Parrott definitely looks hobbly out there as he walks off. Stefan DeFrager will come on, the second-year player out of Dartmouth. We'll get a chance here for Wilmington just past the 70th minute.
Yeah, Wilmington a little thin, having a Shawnee Faircloth out tonight in the defensive position. It'll be interesting to see where DeFrager lines up, listed and typically plays as a midfielder here. And it'll be interesting to see who's going to come into the right back position to replace Tom Parrott. Corbaz had a great free kick here, and we see a corner kick coming for Wilmington. Good bending ball in. Be about 20 minutes left in this match. Still deadlocked at 1, Joe.
Corbaz sends it in, punched away by Mizell. Charlotte able to withstand the test here. Justin Moose making a run, quickly turned away by Charlotte. And the quick throw-in goes to Corbaz. Over to Moose with the right foot. Turned away by Slogic. DeFrager will play his first touch of the night. Goes to Austin Martz. Zev Tablieb back to DeFrager, and they will look to regain their shape here with Peroni across the midfield. Peroni, quick touch to Dove. Peroni with the left foot, bending ball over the head to Logan Miller. I don't think Logan Miller knew that that ball was going to get over the defender for Charlotte, and that was a...
Yeah, actually got whistled for a handball here. And take a look here on the replay, Joe. I think as he was falling down to the ground, he catches it in his upper part of his arm, which is whistled for. Yeah, that's a shoulder. That's a chest, I think. I mean,
it looked like it caught the shoulder of a Charlotte defender, too, on its way.
There, that's the one that got called. The second one that Logan Miller caught was the handball. Not the first one, but the second one that came off of the upper part of the right arm there. So, good call by the official.
So Wilmington was able to muster up a little advancement there, and then we have another handball called.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a ticky-tack foul there called. I saw some series of same touches prior to that didn't get touched. We'll see again on the replay here, possibly on, yeah, both hands in the back there and sort of at his feet as well. It's I get it. I see what Spivey's looking at there, but yeah, Meekum watching the ball out there. I mean, I'm still Wilmington's thin in the back here as far as defenders. Again, DeFrager playing in a right back position, replacing Tom Parrott with a Shawnee Faircloth out, and you got a Mo Kaba. You know, the only other defender listed on the roster this evening is Faraday Sosa. So depending on, I know a Shawnee Faircloth not injured, he'll be back. He's sitting for accumulations of cards.
Well, since the Hammerheads have kind of adjusted their lineup here over the last few minutes,
yeah,
that's Kyle Parker getting in the mix there.
Getting caught in a headlock there by big
with
Kalungi.
With DeFrager, you know, playing out of position. Fortunately for Wilmington so far, they have not been tested really in that defensive third, and that's the way that I think they would like to keep it over the next 15 minutes of action. It'll be Corbaz on the set piece, just outside the left edge of the penalty area.
Yeah, Corbaz had a great service earlier. Really important. You want to get a quality ball served in here. That's a dangerous ball, well cleared.
Toblib will let it go out of play. He'll take the throw in. It looks like we'll have another sub. This one will go in for Charlotte. It'll be Norberto Ochoa. Ochoa will replace Brian Brown, the goal scorer for Charlotte, will go off. His night is over. And Ochoa is on for Charlotte. On his toes here in the second half. A big kick save and a flurry. DeFrager now playing the ball for the first time and has it quickly taken away. Now Smits is going to be a tough opportunity here. It's Martinez who's able to dribble it away from Smits. Pulled off his mark. Low kick. Can't get all of it. Was 27, Zach Pfeffer. And a dangerous opportunity gone bad for Charlotte with Smits pulled way out of the area.
Yeah, that all stems, Joe, with Smits being indecisive on playing that first ball to DeFrager. He looked at DeFrager first, didn't play it. It gave time for Charlotte to shut down on DeFrager, and then Smits gives a ball outside to his right back. He puts it under. He has to have an immaculate touch, and then he's caught out in no man's land. That's a mistake there by John Smits that he's lucky that he didn't have one being picked up at the back of his net. But got to send that first ball away. If DeFrager's not on, don't give it to him. Don't wait and then give it to him.
Score not at that one. Just over 12 minutes left here in regulation. Both teams have gone to their bench here over the last 5 minutes. Tom Parrott off with an injury. Stefan DeFrager is on for Wilmington, but we see DeFrager well out of position. In this one, it's number 24, Norberto Ochoa, who is well offside behind Peroni, the final defender for Wilmington.
Yeah, Ochoa's got to do a better job. You just got in the game there. You can certainly be well aware of where you are on the field. Pick out a defender. Stay behind them. You've got extra legs. You've just gotten in the game and didn't even pick to find any defenders there, and just a wasted opportunity there for Ochoa and his independence.
Justin Moose navigating the midfield. Going to play a ball forward to Dove. Low strike. Left foot over the top of the crossbar. Well off the mark was number 7, Austin Martz. Martz had a golden opportunity last week, or this past Saturday, against Richmond. He was unable to convert in the first couple of minutes of the match.
That actually might have been Corbeau's partner again, close in roster, and we'll see here if it is. It sure is. It's Corbeau's, and yeah, I mean, you really just have to make a ball stay on frame there. You don't have to kill it. You just have to redirect it. But the biggest key thing is keeping it on the floor, left or right. That's a game-winning goal there. You've got to put that away if you're a Corbaz.
Well, I saw Martz there. It was a tough vision. This ball played through to Martinez. Meekum giving chase, and another beautiful left-footed save by John Smits. Looked like that ball was on frame. Smits fell to the ground, able to make another kick save. This one on Enzo Martinez, looking for his 4th goal of the season.
Yeah, Smits doing a good job here. He's given up a little bit of that near post. You can see a great angle here. Just a great job, a good save there by Smits. Flag stays down, could have been possibly offsides.
And the corner kick cleared away by Wilmington.
Another poor clearance there. You see, you're lucky that a Charlotte Independence player is not standing in that area. The clearances tonight have come low and dead center just outside the 18. That's about 6 or 7 of those tonight, Joe, Wilmington is extremely lucky to not be down more than they are in this match simply because of their poor clearances in the defensive end.
Another offsides for Charlotte. So with 2 matches in 72 hours, Wilmington will get a little time to recover following the conclusion of tonight's match as we approach the 81st minute of action, with Wilmington recently on a little 2-game road swing, and there's some indecisiveness there from Mizzle. He's able to recover. As the next match for Wilmington will be back here at Legion Stadium on Saturday, May 21st, when the Hammerheads play host to Charleston Battery. These two teams played once already this season. Down in Charleston, it was the Battery with a 2-run result in that contest. And we will go back to the bench.
Joe, that contest with Charleston as well. Hammerheads giving up a goal in the first 2 minutes of the game, and then in the last 5. Again, the first 5 and last 5 of any half is very important. We see that goal tonight coming just before halftime, certainly within the last 2 minutes, 3 minutes of the half. And it's got to be a situation where you pick up pace, pick up awareness, and not give up goals in the early part or the latter part of the first 5 minutes of each half.
So Zev Tobley will go off, and we'll see the newest member of the Wilmington Hammerheads, and Casey Townsend, and he gets a chance right out of the gate there.
Yeah, it's a quality first touch if he gets that on. I mean, certainly a way to welcome yourself to a new hometown and a new club, but brilliant first touch there. You like to see him again try to put something on frame. Another situation that we see, I know I'm up in the booth here, you don't have to kill it. You just got to put it on frame and make somebody move as in a goalkeeping position, but get it on frame. That's a good first touch, though, just coming off the bench.
So while Wilmington will get a chance to take a breather and kind of go back to the drawing board after tonight's match, with their next contest not until May 21st, Charlotte continues kind of a grueling portion in their schedule. Playing on May 7th, now the 10th, and they're back in action with a trip to New York for a date with the Rochester Rhinos on Saturday, May 14th. So Charlotte getting put to the test here during the month of May, with actually 6 matches in May for the Independents. So you're able to come away with a result here, or a draw here tonight for Charlotte. You got to take that like you picked up a victory on the road, having played just a couple of days ago. Wilmington now, you have plenty of time to recover with their next match not until the 21st, so you really hope that you would come away feeling good with 3 points and a result potentially.
Well, it's the 4th game being at home and only picking up 4 points at home, and this being the 5th if it stays as it is. I mean, it's certainly, you can't get yourself forward when you're just hanging on and picking up a point here and a point there.
Looking for number 10, Jorge Herrera. And now nice little passing there. Great opportunity for Martinez. Peroni, like a brick wall, stoned Martinez, who's now offside. And we'll go back to the bench this time for Charlotte. Enzo Martinez, looks like his night will be over. And it will be number 14, Lewis Hilton, on the pitch now for the Independents, with just about 5 minutes to play here in full time. Martinez had plenty of time That big Peroni just stood in there and was able to get a piece of it. So Martinez is off. One of the bigger goal-scoring threats for Charlotte. Quiet tonight. This ball played off the head and of Austin Martz right into Cody Mizell, the Charlotte goalkeeper. 1-1 the score. Both goals in the first half of action. It was Peroni on a penalty for Wilmington Hammerheads FC in the 15th. Brian Brown was now on the bench. Recorded a big goal moments after he missed an opportunity. He was able to rebound, recover, and tally for Charlotte, the equalizer, in the 43rd minute. Good job there by Miller to step in. Corbaz with the right foot. Going to Austin Martz on the edge of the penalty area. Martz with a low strike, left foot, deflected away by Charlotte. It's Pivo Dove with the throw-in. Justin Moose back to Dove. Left foot.
That's a good bending ball there, coming from your left back position, and just no one making a run for the Wilmington Hammerheads there. That's a ball away from the keeper. Certainly you want to see some kind of energy around that ball, and I don't know if the forwards for Wilmington expected it, but quality service there by Due. Here's a good look at it here, Joe.
Yep, it was Kalungi on the clearance. Now Bryce Taylor will come on for Austin Martz. Martz put a strong 85 minutes of action in tonight. Nice tackle there by Miller. Townsend with the header. Saved by Mizell. Great ball put in by Corbos. Townsend was there. Mizell had it well played. Good angle. And the save.
Yeah, just tough to get up over the likes of a Kalungi in the back. He's towering back there, and Towson does a good job to get ahead on it. Again, you're just in the land of two giants there with Slogic and Kalungi. But here's an opportunity for Charlotte.
Failed clearance there by DeFrager. Shot on mark, but saved. Lewis Hilton with the strike. John Smits there again for Wilmington. Just miscommunication on that back line here for Wilmington is really fortunate to have allowed just one goal tonight.
Yeah, we won't see a lot of time added on here in the second half with no goals, no real stoppages of play, Joe. Maybe 1 minute, maybe two at the most. We'll get our point here. Yep, 2 minutes added on here. Fourth official on the far side's about ready to show that. So about another 2.5, 3 minutes of play left in this game. It's a poor clearance there.
Bryce Taylor on that far side just entered the contest. Will take the throw in, gets it over to DeFrager, and we'll do it over again. This time it'll be DeFrager with the throw in as the clock continues to wind down. And it will be Jack Metcalf.
Yeah, good night by Ekra, solid performance there, and we'll see a late substitution come on. And with two coming on, with Metcalf coming on, that might have been the green 2 that I saw on the digiboard on that far side. So perhaps yet not in knowledge of how much longer we have in this contest.
DeFrager with a little boot, and the header just wide of the net off of Logan Miller. And Mizzle kind of looked like he jammed himself up on the post. It looks like there'll be 5 minutes of extra time
Joe,
put
I don't
on.
see that coming.
Great ball put in by DeFrager off the one-timer. Found Miller, headed it down perfectly. Just
no
bounced
touch
wide.
there. Good call there. But, yeah, 5 minutes added on to this game, so we have a little bit more excitement there. 5 minutes is a long time, certainly in the advantage of the Hammerheads. You know, Charlotte wanting to get on the road there, picking up a point in a 5th game of being undefeated. Long time there and a match to be added on after the 90 clock hits.
Pfeffer will play to the far side for Charlotte. Peroni, clean header. Townsend, his first appearance for the Wilmington side this season. Free agent pickup earlier this week. He'll play ahead to Pibo Dove. Good first touch. Dove creeping in towards the left edge. Low cross. And it's turned away by Charlotte. But Townsend has already made an immediate impact here in the attack for Wilmington. With the throw-in coming in. Headed away, but it'll be a corner kick now for the Wilmington Hammerheads. As Bilal Duckett was matched up against Bruno Peroni. Obvious size disadvantage there for Duckett. And it turns into a corner kick. Good chance here for Wilmington. Corbaz will take the corner with the right-footed strike to the far post. Clawed away by Mazel. Strong play there by the Charlotte keeper.
Yeah, Mazel's had a couple of balls tonight that he's swatted away in a punching fashion. You know, it's a lot of traffic, and, you know, you're okay with the goalkeeper doing that. You're getting it out of trouble. Maybe 1 or 2 of them that he can certainly handle and catch and keep in possession. But again, his clearances have been high and away and out of trouble with a punching fashion, and it's served him well so far tonight.
So 5 minutes of extra time. We're through about 120 seconds of that. Time, of course, being kept on the pitch right now. Chris?
Excuse me, got a little excited there for the last couple minutes of this game.
So as we stand, Charlotte would move to 5-2-1 overall. If the contest holds at 1-1, Wilmington would move to 2-3-3. Haven't got a result since April 17th, which was a victory here at Legion Stadium against FC Montreal. They're 0-2-1 in their last 3 matches. Have scored just
Was that possibly the game that you weren't here, Joe?
That was the game I wasn't here.
Could be the deciding factor. I mean, the number 1 spot of calling, perhaps.
Well, I'm sure the fans at home watching would love to, to have someone else in here. I'm sure, they have plenty of criticisms for the job we've done tonight. Can't please them all.
No, it's certainly, again, our fans that have come along on our travel trip tonight have gotten a lot of information on whereabouts Legion Stadium is. And
I'm just the tour guide trying
absolutely.
to take fans through an evening of soccer here at Legion Stadium in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Enjoyable cruise with Joe Katz.
I like the ring of that. Let's set it up. I believe we do have some cruise ships that leave the port of Charleston. 2.5-hour ride from Wilmington.
Oh, that's a great ball played across. And
DeFrager nearly on the recovery. 27. Pfeffer was there. Now another chance for Charlotte.
Ooh, I tell you
this
what.
This one just slid left of the frame. Norberto Ochoa.
Yeah, Wilmington gasping for air and hiccuping there as I did a few minutes ago, but it's certainly a chance for them to put this away, and that would have just been an absolute backbreaker at home.
And that will do it.
That's your final whistle there, Joe.
Final whistle. Both clubs play to a draw here in the first of 3 contests scheduled for this season. 1-1 Both teams will gain a point in the Eastern Conference of the United Soccer League. Charlotte 5-2-1 overall. Wilmington moves to 2-3-3. It was a Bruno Peroni penalty for Wilmington. Their lone goal of the night came in the 15th minute. They took a 1-0 advantage. Charlotte Independence equalized. Brian Brown just before the break leveled the match at 1-1. Second half even, both sides with some chances. Goalkeepers up to task here in the final 45 minutes of action.
You know, it's good. I mean, you know, it's just not good enough. The Wilmington Hammerheads have to be able to pick up points at home. But on the brighter side, you take into your locker room that, again, you've been in one-goal games. You've been close on everything. What you've got to fix is you've given up bad goals. And, again, I've harped on it. I've said it a couple times. You've given up early goals. You give up goals within the last 5 minutes of a crucial part of the game. Once again here tonight, I feel these Wilmington Hammerheads are just not good enough. They're letting these points get away from them. It could end up being a detriment at the end as playoffs come around.
Both teams will earn again 1 point in the standings. Wilmington, of course, a couple of players in street clothes tonight. Liam Miller in the midfield, Ashani Faircloth, both starters. Unavailable for this evening's match, playing within a 72-hour span. Charlotte with the same Charlotte, playing 6 matches here in the month of May. They'll get right back in action this weekend with a trip to Rochester. Wilmington will take the time off. They'll get back to training, full fitness. May 21st, they'll be back in action here at Legion Stadium against Charleston Battery, looking to bounce back following a setback to Charleston a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, entertaining, Joe. At the, not to take anything away from either team, it was fun to watch. You certainly had some goal scoring opportunities, some great saves, some kick saves, not necessarily quite off the line, but in the area that were on frame. So overall, a good match to watch. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and as the game of soccer goes on, it's good to see that the quality of play keeps up with it.
So Wilmington still hovering around that 8th, 9th spot in the Eastern Conference table. Charlotte towards the top, currently in second place behind New York Red Bulls 2. They are 5-2-1. They are the top team in this week's USL Power Rankings. Wilmington looking to find themselves here over the next couple of weeks before returning to action on May 21st against Charleston. For Chris Liebert, I'm Joe Katz. We appreciate Turbo Sports Group for producing tonight's broadcast. Final score from Legion Stadium here in Wilmington, North Carolina. Wilmington Hammerheads FC 1, Charlotte Independence 1. Thanks for joining us, and you have a great night.